Chinese spies have infiltrated the United States military. That's right. That's not an Alex Jones thing I'm screaming out here.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay.
I've touched on China paying United States active military members for information on weapons, on our battle tactics, etc. And these idiots getting caught and serving time, and rightfully so. Oh, rightfully so.
You suck!
And today I have a story on how 3 guys from the United States Army, 2 currently serving and 1 that did his time and got out, have been caught in another information stealing espionage ring, giving info to China. And as much as it pains me to talk about people flipping and playing for the other side, I sure as hell enjoy telling stories about these idiots getting caught, selling their souls for like tens of dollars, and spending some quality time in one of Uncle Sam's fantastic getaways we like to call federal prison. Before I go any further into the story, just remember, support the channel by picking up a shirt, or join me and the fellas over at Pepperbox, where you can see all of our content uncensored, and I always throw in a little extra additional content. Sprinkle in some sugar. Now let's get back to these American turncoat Chinese spies, shall we?
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Let's introduce you to today's players in the game of How Can We Fuck Up Our Lives? We've got First Lieutenant, an officer coming all the way out of Oregon, Li Tian. I don't know, I'm gonna butcher some of these names. Royu Duan and Jian Zhao. Now Li and Duan got caught up in their own thing, and Zhao something different, but they all got arrested together, well, about the same time, same sting.
Dishonor on your whole family.
Let's start off with Lieutenant Li and Duan, who got out a little while ago after completing his contract in the Army. Well, they got picked up out of Oregon, where Li was caught selling Duan technical manuals and information on weapon systems for money. That's right, we've got Li gathering all the information and the technical manuals and all the cool doodads, selling it to Duan, who got out, who has the connect in China, and Duan taking that information and selling it directly to his plug in China. Now, how long has this been going on? Well, since November of 2021 till December of 2024, when they all got picked up and arrested. Thank God. Duan and Tian, along with others known and unknown to the grand jury, conspired with each other to surreptitiously gather sensitive military information related to the United States Army's operational capabilities, including tactical manuals and other sensitive information, and that Tian transmitted this information to Duan in return for money. Specifically, Tian was asked with gathering information related to U.S. military weapon systems, including information related to the Bradley and Stryker U.S. Army fighting vehicles, and transmitting them to Duan. Now, as of right now, I couldn't find how much money was made between these two or changed hands between these two in regards to the information that they were sharing, stealing, sending to China.
Don't trust China. China is oh.
But I bet it wasn't much, because this next guy ended up having a lot more information that he was selling to China, and he barely even scratched into 5 digits.
The price is wrong.
Because now we're going to talk about Jian Zhao, another active duty soldier who is a supply sergeant. Now, some of you might say, a supply sergeant? A supply sergeant can get his hands onto some interesting equipment if he's put in the right spot. Just mull it over a second in your brain and think about all the cool things that supply sergeants get to touch and fool around with and be around with behind the security of that supply cage. Ah, yes, now you're starting to sweat. That's a lot of stuff. How about military computers? Classified, unclassified, secret, top secret. Yeah, the supply guy's signing for those laptops. Doesn't matter if they're locked or not when you pop out the hard drive and then send all that over to China, which is exactly what Zhao did. Zhao was charged for his conspiracy to collect and transmit several classified hard drives, including hard drives marked secret and top secret. Negotiating with individuals based in China for their sale. Oh my God, negotiating, God. The Chinese and Asian population love to haggle. That is a stereotype that just rings true. In exchange for the sale of the classified hard drive, Zhao received at least $10,000.
The worst trade deal ever made.
For your freedom, $10,000 for your freedom? Idiot.
What an Idiot.
Other information that Zhao was selling was specifically about our HIMARS, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System that the United States has for air defense. Now, if I'm not mistaken, HIMARS are extremely adaptive. It's not just air defense. They can do air defense, but you can put just about any missile in there. Ground to air, ground to ground, air defense. Plug and play any sort of missile system into a HIMARS, and you're shooting down or shooting at anything, baby. Alrighty, guys, tell me what's up in case I'm completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there's several different munitions you can throw in there. You know, the best advice I ever got from China was from that guy that lives in, I think it's Taiwan.
Don't trust China. China is oh.
Now, some of you are obviously saying, well, they're top secret hard drives. Those drives are probably encrypted. You can't get into them. Well, wouldn't you know that somebody was also trying to sell an encrypted computer and the encryptions on said computer to unlock these encrypted documents / files. I could probably say encrypted a little bit more, but I won't. Encrypted, encrypted, encrypted. All of these things totaling $15,000 to Zhao. So Zhao is selling basically his citizenship and his freedom to China for $15,000. What are some better deals he could get for 15 grand? Let's see. Well, you could get a mildly used jet ski, a 2012 Honda Civic. Ooh, some nice appliances for a kitchen renovation. Wow, that almost makes it seem like it's worth it. So listen, kids. Let me put it as simply as I think I possibly can. Your freedom is not worth the chump change that China is offering.
Don't trust China. China is oh.
But you want to know what is worth just a little bit of change? Some Angry Cops merch. Boom, baby, show those shirts. Woo! We got Gather the Goons. Frickin' Abraham Lincoln with a grill, baby! Ooh, you knew Abraham Lincoln needed a grill? And we got Big Benny Franklin over here, teardrop tattoos, because of all those French he left crying. Yeah. In case you didn't know that, Benjamin Franklin loved French horse. That is not speculation, that is a fact. Cheapest way to support the channel is leave yourself a comment. What would you spend your $15,000 on that you got from China for committing treason and turning your back on your entire country and the military brotherhood that you spent several years of your life with? Oh, what a bunch of idiots. I'm gonna say some really dumb things on Pepperbox after this. Can't wait to see you there. All right, see you next time, weirdos.
Ryu. Is the guy's name.